Good evening, speed running fans. Good evening, Super Metroid fans. We are here for first round action in the SGLIVE online component. We're looking at any percent Super Metroid speedrunning tonight, and we are joining you live in the commentary booth. My name is Professor School. I'm joined by none other than Dust77. Dust, what's up? How's it going?
Good evening. Thanks for the intro, Prof. Yeah, looking forward to this matchup tonight. Great first round matchup between Lynx and Hypo. It's going to be a great, old route versus new route matchup here, and I'm excited to see some route diversions and some cool tech from both runs.
Yeah, absolutely, and I would expect some cool tech for sure from both of these runners. You and I were talking a little bit in the green room before. Lynx, obviously, very well-known runner, has a 113 in 100%, which is an incredibly solid time, and has a 41.32, a top 10 time in any percent with that PRKD route. But HypoSatori, no slouch. Hypo, a legend in the Japanese speedrunning community, runs a very competitive 45.36 KPDR. And Hypo absolutely has the capacity to do some really cool stuff here as well. So we'll just have to see what these runners end up pulling tonight.
Yeah, really looking forward to this matchup. And just in general, what a great time to be a Super Metroid fan. So many tourneys going on right now between the Dash Mystery, you've got the map rando stuff, and then obviously any percent here. So no shortage of good stuff to watch on any given evening.
No kidding, Dust. There's a ton going on right now between mystery tournaments and Dash, and it feels like every time I open up Twitch or Discord, there's another notification about a race going live, which is pretty exciting, honestly. It's as you said so well, excellent time to be a speedrunning fan and a Super Metroid speedrunning fan. We're up and away here, getting through the start of this series escape sequence.
Yep, looking, pretty standard fare at the beginning of any Super Metroid run. Just got to get through this 90 seconds of fun here.
All right, 52.32, pretty decent time coming through that door. A little extra steam bonk for Hypo. Let's see what Lynx can do at the stairs room. Was a little low coming through the door. 45.87 and 45.80.
45.80. Yeah, very good series times there. Would now be a good time to remind everybody that there is a live in-person component to the Speedgaming Live 2024 tournament here. Just to put a little perspective here, Prof and I met in person at last year's event. I had a great time. It was just a great experience to meet so many people from the community in person. So if you're on the fence, I can only encourage you to take the plunge. It's a great experience.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy you brought that up, Dust. I think one of the cool things about this community is the community aspect of it. For lack of a better word, it's a great group of folks. It's a relatively small community considering how popular speedrunning Super Metroid is as a speedrunning game. We've had great meetups at GQ in Minneapolis. We've had multiple meetups multiple years in a row here in Herndon, Virginia, where this SGLIVE in-person component will actually be. So I really would encourage people, as Dust pointed out, this is a great community. We've got a lot of great resources in the Discord, a lot of good people. We've got in-person meetups. If you're at all interested, if you're nostalgic about Super Metroid, if you're a newer runner trying to get into it, this is one of the communities that I'd recommend you check out.
Yeah, incredibly welcoming community. As someone who's not a runner, to be kind of welcomed in and whatnot, you feel like you're part of the gang. So as we're picking up Morphing Ball here, again, pink versus orange, I don't know what your flavor is there, Prof.
It's funny. There's a lot of people that get really hyped about getting one color or the other, or sort of dread getting one. I'll be honest, I see people post it in the race rooms, and I don't even realize what color I get. I'm always so nervous at the start of a race that these things just go right past me, and all I'm trying to do is take that 3-second door transition and take a couple deep breaths. It doesn't matter if I'm the huge underdog or if I'm a favorite in my race. There's something about these race situations that always gets me just a little bit out of sorts, and I'll be honest, I don't even ever notice the color.
Well, yeah, race nerves, it's a real thing. I think even, for those of us on the other side here, a little bit of apprehension getting up and talking about this stuff. But, the real hard work is on the other side here with the runners. So let's see how they do, coming through the pit room here into climb.
Yeah, 4:03 coming through this door for Lynx is a really good time. I mean, obviously you can get 4 and just under that, but that's a really, really solid start time here. Lynx demonstrating this Behe climb, whereas we're getting this wall jump climb from Hypo. Really close race so far.
Super close, yeah. And I mean, just very clean climbs in general, both opting for different strats, but pretty similar pace right here.
Five missiles, easy peasy. Oh, Hypo going for something maybe a little different. Oh, I was worried he may have blown an extra missile there, but it seems like everything's okay. And sub 450 bombs times for both, so really, really excellent early game performance.
Yeah.
For those folks who, for folks who've played this game, I think we all know that the first couple rooms are extremely challenging. The first 5 minutes, very technically demanding. And runners handling it very, very well. Obviously, 435, 436 bombs is the sort of thing that the top runners are thinking about potentially achieving. But anything that's in that mid 440 range is really, really good.
Yeah, and clean fights for both runners. Lynx out of there just a little bit earlier, but yeah, I mean, this is high-level execution right out of the gate.
It's a slight edge here from Lynx. You can see just a couple small things. The ledge grabs are just a little bit tighter. Some of the movement has been just a little bit cleaner. And I think that's just an indication of all of this work that Lynx has put in.
It's a pretty sick little D-boost right there from Hypo.
I was just going to say, yeah, I almost cut myself off to call attention to it. I'm glad you did. That was a really neat little strat there. I'm sure Sustream or one of the other Japanese runners might be able to tell me a little bit more about that. I don't know if that's something specific to their community that they've figured it out. That's not one that I have ever seen before.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing those little surprises. The personal touches from different runners. Kind of like a signature. You can understand just through some of the strats. Who you're watching. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, so little difference here. You see that 139 energy for Hypo, taking that intentional damage a little bit faster, getting through that Green Bren Pirate Room and that post-Terminator Pirate Room. Of course, running KPDR, you're not really worried about your health. You're going straight for Varia and Warehouse. Lynx, however, running that early Fantoon is really going to want to save energy up for the early part of this run through Hellway and Fantoon. And so not taking that intentional damage, that 60 extra health is going to be really, really important.
Still super close here as we, head down to get our charge beam, but pretty much neck and neck here.
While we have a second here, we're coming up on our divergence. We'll point out we've got some other speed gaming action lined up for y'all. Actually, our next race is MM2 NES cartridge versus me. I'm competing in this tournament as well. So our race is tomorrow morning at 12 o'clock Eastern. We've got a bunch of great races this weekend. Tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern, Bressingham and Timon. At 6 p.m., Stachio and Tablespoon. At 7, Scotty Crow versus Nevdi. It goes on through Sunday. We've got a lot of first and second round matchups coming up through the weekend. All of the seeds will be in action. Just getting underway here. It's really exciting. So y'all keep your eyes posted for those Speed Gaming Live channels. And yeah, great speed running coming your way.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to sit on the couch all weekend and watch speedruns, I think there's enough going on in this tournament alone to keep you busy.
Absolutely, and a nicely executed red tower there for Lynx. Oh, and I like this strat here. Saving the first D-boost.
Doing those gap skips.
Extra health. Yep, doing the gap skip and then farming. Probably going for a 2 farm. If you set up that charge shot just right, you can actually farm both of those zealots simultaneously. That's something that I also like to opt for in race situations. Take a little bit less damage, save yourself a little bit of extra health going into wrecked shit, and potentially grab an extra super farm or something like that. It's always really nice to hit on one of those.
Sure, yeah, always better safe than sorry, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and a nice, it was like an 833 powerbomb touch time. Really, really solid early game here from Lynx. And Hypo not too far behind. Nice sub 9 entry into Warehouse here.
Yeah, and we got Lynx coming up on Moat, you know, the great equalizer sometimes for races and runs.
Oh boy, tell me about it.
Maybe not sometimes. That's being far too kind. You know,
I guess it depends who you are, right? I know
True.
myself
Yeah, yeah.
myself personally. I did not manage to stay dry in a single one of the qualifiers, so not great on my end. But some of these runners are much more talented and experienced with this category, so they have a lot more practice.
Yeah, well, Lynx going for this horizontal bomb jump first try makes it look easy.
Yeah, really beautiful there. Lovely stuff.
All right, and Hypo's got Kraid coming up here, taking that damage boost to reduce a little bit of the lag. And easy peasy.
Yeah, and this will be a sub 10-minute touch time on Varia, which is always excellent. 56. Not a white hot pace, but a really good pace from Hypo. And Lynx is going to have a nice Fantoon door time here as well. Again, same thing. Not a white hot pace, but a pretty good one.
I mean, for you know, taking a little bit of precaution there in Hellway, and you know, just making sure that things are nice and clean and consistent. Still a pretty good pace here.
All right, folks, get your Fantoon guesses into chat. Fast, mid, slow. Let's see what Fantoon has for Lynx in tonight's race. Left side patterns first, no fast. Handles the flames very nicely there on what can be a very tricky sometimes flame lane pattern going on that mid, but it's going to be the slow this time around. Lynx opting to send Fantoon off screen. Did look like he got 6 missiles in there. Really nice Doppler setup.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, and getting that more expected mid, avoiding all of that damage there, and closing out in 2 rounds. Yeah, really nicely done, especially the additional damage avoidance there with the morph and slide under. Very nicely done from Lynx.
Super clean, yeah. Meanwhile, Hypo's going to be picking up these high jump boots.
All right, so let's check on Lynx's resources here. Really excellent. Look at this. Full health, full missiles, full supers, and 4 power bombs. It really doesn't get any better than that. I mean, you can really get hecked coming out of Fantoon depending on how things go. Obviously, keeping that higher health going into and throughout the fight really worked to Lynx's favor. And he can, I think, rest a lot easier than he would have been otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, fantastic resources, and I'm sure he's pretty pleased with where he's at right now in the race.
Oh, I love that little pseudo screw into the mock ball. Nicely done by Hypo there. Love that.
Very nice.
Now, Lynx did something very interesting there. This is something that I've seen him do before. Oh, and this is exactly the reason why he does it. He takes an extra, it's slightly slower to go a little bit further left there, but it buys you a little bit extra time to get around the atomic if you have an issue getting up into that 1-tile gap. Unfortunately, he does get nailed, but gets the double health drop. All he has to do is burn the super, and despite the extra super usage, gets through Attic on full health. So it could have been a lot worse, considering taking that atomic hit, but nicely handled there from Lynx.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hypo got that nice shot on King Kak, but had a little bit of an issue with that wall jump and fell down there, but cleanly threw Bubble Mountain up into Speed.
Oh, and I love the full farm here in Pancake Room. Really nicely done. 15-8-2, pretty good resources leaving. I'll be curious to see whether Lynx decides to skip the CAC farms. Is the favorite in this race. I could see a reasonable case to be made to farm both of those supers, but you are going to get another one most likely from the CAC under Spazer, so I think that this is also a perfectly reasonable place to just go ahead and skip. If you're going to do 1 farm at the top of Red Tower for the CACs, you might as well do 2, so we'll see what Lynx decides to do, if he plays it a little safer or not. I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've run KPDR, so my resource management memory is not as good as it was. But
probably better than mine, but
Yeah, I don't know. 10 to 2 supers leaving that that farm. I don't know if Hypo would have wanted to get a little bit more normally. It seems like pretty bad drops, and I don't know if he was just always planning on bailing or not, but it's not ideal as far as I can remember.
Yeah, looks a little low. So Lynx coming back across moat here and heading back down Red Tower.
Gets the lucky power bomb drop. Didn't need it, but might be able to pick up a couple more small healths in the place if you fill up on power bombs faster going into LN. Still a dangerous route. I do expect Lynx will continue to run Ridley first. There is obviously the option here to run Kraid first and be a little bit safer in a match where you're a several-minute favorite, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Sure. I don't know too much about the Picard route. Is there something about having to go back for a couple of items or something? I'm not as familiar with that route.
I mean, we could sort of squabble over a few seconds here or there. I think one of the big
It's like
things,
a late croc, early croc kind of thing?
Yeah, I think one of the big things with regards to PRKD is that by delaying Kraid, you're getting that mini Kraid refill on supers going into Meridia,
Gotcha.
which can be pretty important. You also have speed going through Warehouse at that point, which you won't now. I think in a race situation like this, it would be perfectly reasonable for Lynx to run the Picard route, but well, I will just have to wait and see. It is certainly, you know, regardless of how much safety you're going to take, it's certainly dangerous going Ridley first without Varia.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're going to find out really quick.
Full supers here is really nice, obviously. Oh, and there you
All
go.
right. There it is. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
all
I think it's a very reasonable and defendable decision. Oh, look at that beautiful top of Red Tower down grab from Hypo. That's sick.
Very nice, and then gets those nice deboosts through Hellway. So while Hypo grabs his alpha PBs here, yeah, Lynx going down that mini crate hallway, and we'll see how his crate fight goes here. I expect this should be a walk in the park for him.
I think Lynx is just one energy too low to do the... Yeah, I think you want to be at 63 or greater here. You don't want to get dropped into health bomb range. So I don't think he'll be doing any sort of lag reduction strats. Or is he going to be right at 30?
As he drops into the spikes.
Oh, I'm so stupid. He's got gravity on.
Right.
Sorry, folks. I'm not running Picard right now, and I just totally blanked on. I was thinking KPDR.
Well, a clean fight nonetheless. You know, in and out real quick with Kraid. And meanwhile, Hypo is coming up on his moat crossing here. Let's see that speed booster tech. Oh, and he just bonks the door. Bummer, does not get the full ocean fly there.
A sweet little mock ball going under there, and Lynx grabbing that warehouse tank as well. Yep.
Yeah. So lots of safeties here for Lynx. Yeah, like you said, can't blame him. Just want to make sure you get through this clean without a death. All right, Hypo coming up on Fantoon. We'll see. I don't know if they're consistent with the 2-round, 3-round. I would assume probably this is a 2-round, hopefully, for them.
All right, let's see some X Factor strats here.
X Factor, yeah. I should have known that.
Nicely done there. And are we going hybrid here? Yeah, looks like Hypo has turned off those power bombs, so we're not going to get the double X Factor. This is the nice fast hybrid strat. and then just 2 missiles and a super to end. 2, 2, 2, and a super, and you're through it clean. Very, very nice fight from Hypo.
Indeed.
Yeah, and so now we've got 3 tanks and Varia, so halving that damage coming into LN. This should be much, much more comfortable for Lynx, and can obviously afford to give up that little bit of time. Ooh, a little bit of a slip up there, just getting caught up on the gate, but fortunately was not far left enough to trigger that second gate opening. If you mess that up a little bit later, yeah, it can be a pretty costly time loss there, having to reset the room. Not only reset the room, but having to go under the floor in that very, very slow setup. So nice reaction there from Lynx to save that.
Great save. So Hypo's heading up to Attic, get this cleared through, grab the gravity suit. Meanwhile, Lynx leaving ice here, heading back. Excuse me. Heading over to where we headed, Prof.
Dust, we can go wherever you want. What are you in the mood for?
Well, I mean, we got a lot of options.
Oh, sorry, we're talking about Super Metroid. Yes, of course. I was no, I was blown away there. We had a beautiful Attic by HypoSatori with that blue strat. Lynx getting the nice ice escape and headed down for LN. Hypo about to pick up his gravity suit. Looking like a little short charge here for Hypo, yeah? Nicely done.
It's very nice.
Only 5 supers here for Lynx. So this is a little unfortunate. Just didn't get many super drops after entering Upper Norfair. And we'll probably just spend the extra time farming up, but hopefully it doesn't get trolled too badly by the bugs.
Yeah, sometimes that can be a pretty frustrating farm right there.
All right, we have another second here just to remind you of some of our matches. I mentioned the Saturday ones. Check out these Sunday matchups, 9 a.m. in second round matchup down in that redemption bracket, Omni versus Tilly. Then at 11 a.m., these are all Eastern times, folks. Zost facing off against Stovetop, that 1 versus 32 matchup. Looks like Dust, you'll be on comms for that.
I will.
Our number 3 seed, Shiny Zenny versus Karst. I'll be on the call for that. That's at 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, and then at 4 p.m., Dane versus Oopla, another old route versus new route matchup. Like I said, folks, stay tuned to your local Speedgaming affiliate. We've got some great races coming up for you this weekend.
Yeah, definitely some pretty hype matchups. Really looking forward to catching all the races this weekend. I think it's going to be another fantastic weekend of Super Metroid content.
Of unfortunate drop luck, not getting, I think, the power bombs that Hypo wanted there. Just with 1 exiting the ship here.
Well, making our way towards the lava dive here, and always, I don't know, freaks me out sometimes people get that spark up so close to that ledge, and I'm always worried people are going to bonk, and most of the time it's super clean, but a little drop in the stomach sometimes.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Lynx decides to do, and is going for the lava spark. All right, I do want to call attention to something. I'll wait until after this lava spark attempt. Yeah, very nicely done there from Lynx.
Yep.
So actually, in just a couple rooms before this, that pre-Chronic Boost room, Lynx actually pulled off a strat that is relatively new, which is we used to go on that pre-Chronic Boost room by just arm pumping on the floor through the acid. With those sort of strange physics of having speed on. And the new thing that's happening now is actually a deboost off of that Fune that's there, which is saving quite a bit of time in that room. It's really neat to see some of the strats. Every tournament we have new ones that are incorporated, and that's one of the main ones that I think all the top PRKD runners are incorporating now to get through that room a little faster.
Yeah, and I mean, such you know, subtle movement optimizations, you just help continue to propel this game forward into, you know, times that were previously unheard of.
Very nice worst room in the game there, handled very well for Lynx. Honestly, even with the extra health, the extra E-tank, and the extra suit, things can go very wrong very quickly in that room, and obviously resetting it starts to get you into trouble with power bomb counts, so nicely executed there.
Yep, and we've got Hypo fighting Batun. Great fight, getting that pretty decent left side pattern there.
Yeah, and better drops finally for Hypo,
Yeah,
who's
absolutely.
going to be much more comfortable after the drops that Batun gave. So finally, a little bit of luck on the RNG end for Hypo.
Yeah, Lynx making their way through Wasteland here, coming into Metal Pirates room, and yeah, I mean, resources are still looking really, really good here. See if Hypo gets this full half V. I think he missed the ledge grab at the top there. I don't know. Nope. Nailed it. Great full half V.
This little farming strat here, pre-Ridley, is just, it's so pretty. It's not as easy as it looks to execute. Most of the things that these runners are doing is not as easy as they make it look, but it's just one of those really beautiful strats for me. Looks so simple, but such an effective way to farm some resources up before Ridley. It did get that 10th super, so nice drops for Lynx. Kind of a trolley start early pattern here for Ridley, but doesn't take any extra damage.
Kind of cool. We got a you know, Ridley boss fight going on one side and a Dragon boss fight going on the other. Hypo is looking pretty good here. Got that first spark, and all right, Dragon's down. No blue suit, but I assume they'll go for spike suit here. Oh, Dragon
my goodness!
Oh
my goodness! Oh, goodness gracious!
Man, I thought Dragon was down there, and then okay, wow.
No, and I was really worried about that. I was really worried about that because Dragon's belly was very, very, very red when Hypo decided to go for that. You can in that situation, but you have to really just skim the top of Dragon's head. I think Hypo's pretty fortunate to be alive, honestly.
Yeah. Man, I looked away at the Ridley fight for just a second. I thought that Dragon was down, and then nope.
Yeah, it looked probably 150 health short, something like that. But goodness gracious, that was I don't know. I might have just finished that off with some pseudo screws. That was pretty monka-esque. And meanwhile, we missed just an absolute textbook fight from Lynx. Really nicely done. Yep.
Yeah, Ridley was super clean for Lynx.
Yeah, over 300 energy for this exit. Already with 5 supers leaving. Really excellent resources this entire time for Lynx. Yeah, hasn't really had any trouble at all.
Full run, yep.
Bit of poetry in motion there from HypoSatori. Some beautiful base jump strats through Cack Alley. See how this Key Hunter Stairs manip goes. Oh, interesting. So Lynx does this a little bit differently than I myself, and I've seen some other runners do.
Yeah, it
takes a little bit of damage. Yeah, they can be kind of pains in the butt, those Key Hunters, sometimes just being not quite in the right place, but plenty of damage that that Lynx can take here with all the safeties.
Yeah, a lot of health, yeah. Meanwhile, Hypo's grabbing that Plasma Beam. I do love the Plasma Room strats here.
Yeah, let's see what he chooses to go for. Nicely done.
Very clean. Meanwhile, we got 3 Musketeers. It takes 1 hit there, but still pretty clean.
Yeah, and they're all obviously also hitting for half the damage that they would.
Sure.
All right, so we're going to be trading places here. Hypo finishing off with Meridia. Will be heading out of the bottom here next to the glass tube and down in to face Ridley. Lynx, of course, coming out of Ridley and will be making his way, having already done Kraid, We'll take this extra time to farm some supers up. That's one of the main disadvantages of having that Kraid second after Fantoon. But again, if you're in this sort of a situation where you're favored by a few minutes, I think just playing safely, taking the extra farms, there's no reason to rush into Meridia without that extra set of resources. So we'll see Lynx go left here from the elevator, having already done warehouse, and then up into Meridia. We'll get a nice little high five from our runners actually right on the elevator.
Do love those high fives.
I guess it's kind of a high five from Lynx. It's a low five from Hypo. How does this work on an elevator?
Super low five. I don't know. Is that just like tapping feet? I don't know.
Little head boops.
There you go.
And that super delayed ice, of course, Hypo just finally picking it up. We'll see if he goes down to the southern route or northern route here. It's a 1 power bomb difference between the two. I actually don't know which way Hypo runs this. Ooh, going for this. Just missed the mock ball.
That room exit strategy is crazy to me. I don't know. Some of this stuff just it blows my mind. I try and do this stuff and I'm humbled.
Okay, D-factor setup, sort of traditional decalled factor setup here. Opting not to take the extra damage, but a really nice Batoon fight.
Yep, very, very good fight there.
And it is northern route for Hypo, not needing to spend the extra power bomb. Nice strats here through.
A little Yahtzee there.
Yeah, shout outs to Hockey Towner. Yahtzee.
Again, I'm just worried about trademark infringement.
Yeah, you got to be careful. If Hockey finds out, he might stop your heart. He does have that capacity.
Unfortunately, the Lynx missing the full halfie there. Just had that one wall jump do him wrong there.
I'll just take our scenic route here through the Coliseum. Let's see how Lynx chooses to handle this Dragon fight. Good resources, 20 missiles, 2 supers entering is plenty fine. Obviously the health is excellent, 4 tanks. I actually don't know how Lynx handles this fight. Is he going to do traditional? He is going over to the right side. So it looks like we're going to get a more traditional, older version of this fight. Meanwhile, Hypo getting the really sweet blue strat through the fast pillars room. Oh, nice red belly there. Yep. Yeah, really good opener. Okay, what swoop pattern do we get? So slightly slower pattern. Nicely done there from Lynx. Beautiful fight. Excellently executed.
Yeah, meanwhile, Hypo making worse from the game look pretty easy.
Yeah, truly is. I think the line has been used many times, but just another room in the game. Maybe not quite as easy as it is when you have Screw Attack in like GT Classic or 100% category, but I think with that plasma setup, it's quite a bit easier than a low ice or Fantoon first any percent strategy. Yeah, Hypo was actually, chat pointing it out, was going for a pretty cool strat there with that that diagonal up spark. Didn't quite, or that diagonal charge shot. Didn't quite work out, but...
Well,
oh wow, and another super drop for Lynx. The RNG has been very, very favorable to Lynx this entire run. 10-6 here is really great.
Really great resources, as you said earlier, throughout the entire run.
You getting Flower House? Oh, a little blue keep. So a little bit of extra lag, but super swag here from Hypo. Heck yeah, let's go. All right, 20 charge shots separates Hypo from all 4 of those G4 bosses being complete.
It is nice about the old route. You get that charged plasma.
Hypo really has excellent command over these charge shots. For those of you who have seen Hypo run low percent categories, those mother brain fights are just a thing of beauty, honestly, to see those incredibly well-timed charge shots. So little space wasted.
Yeah, and Hypo making quick work of Ridley there. Very nice fight.
The trolley grab at the end took a little bit longer for Ridley to settle into that death animation, but no problem. And Hypo making his way up to G4. Lynx obviously going to get there just a little bit ahead here.
Oh, when he gets that nice mock ball through the door.
This is looking like maybe high 42 from Lynx, depending on how Turian goes. At least it's pacing in that direction.
I would defer to your judgment there, sir.
Yeah, 34-40, 34-42 here in G4. So count about 8 minutes on average from this point if you hit baby skit. So maybe a high 42 is the pace here. Pretty good.
Yeah, super respectable race time.
Yeah, honestly, with all of the extra safeties and stuff, the thing that we sort of maybe have lost sight of is just how well Lynx have been playing from the start. That low 8.3x power bomb time, a really nice entry time. Like I said, nothing white hot, but just really good paces all the way through for both runners. And Lynx especially, I think, despite all the safeties, is playing really well.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the safeties and just making sure that there's not a whole lot left to the imagination here, and just kind of get through this race. I think it's just been clean execution, sticking to the basics, and I don't know, you love to see it.
All right, let's see how these Metroid rooms go for Lynx.
I think some of the coolest looking rooms in the entire game, strat-wise.
That is a very persnickety strat there, trying to get both of those Metroids to follow you without having the second one fly by. You really need him to bonk off the edge of one of those last platforms there, and it can be a little bit tricky to set up sometimes. Lynx, with plenty of health, though, can dip back into that acid without a problem. Oh, lovely strat going down into the acid there. Nice stuff. And full up on resources, so we'll have no sort of shenanigans here. Yep, nicely done by Lynx. Really nice. Ooh, maybe a little extra hit through the door? Nope. Okay, got away with just the one hit. Missed the D-boost there.
But plenty of energy coming in here.
I don't actually remember how Lynx sets up this clockwise baby skit. Okay, so doing it from the pillar here. Okay. There's a lot of different ways to set this up. A number of different runners use. Here's the bomb spread from the right side. Oates uses sort of a single bomb from that right side. Other runners like Eddie are actually using a no dash setup from the far left side of the screen. But anyway you cut it,
Great.
very nicely executed for
great
jump.
baby skip. All right, so Hypo is getting out of Meridia here while Lynx is going in for that Mother Brain 1 fight.
Ooh, these turrets are angry. My goodness.
Yikes.
Yeah, and that slows everything down. You have to be then a little bit careful about that extra Rinka that you don't freeze from the top right. But Lynx having that 2010 doesn't even need the extra ones. Just blew the one missile on some angry turrets to start. Handled nicely and didn't get any more unlucky than that. So we'll see how he chooses to use these 3 missiles. Not right away. You can use them to try to adjust Mother Brain catch-up patterns in the final phase of the fight. We'll just have to see what he decides to do. Meanwhile, Hypo just a few rooms away from G4. Looking like this is going to be maybe a 46 pace, something like that. Pretty nice charge shots here from Lynx. Well spaced.
Yep, very, very nice. Doing a great job dodging these onion rings here. As Hypo enters G4.
Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Oh,
okay, Mother Brain.
Yeah.
That was onion rings, ketchup, and French fry back to back to back. Maybe even maybe you
a
even
whole
feel
hot dog stand, man. Jeez.
it really is. I think maybe you almost feel better at that point taking the French fry damage, because at least you're gonna have those iframes. You don't get caught up in that ketchup.
Right.
Pretty nasty though. Pretty nasty. Okay, and very carefully damaging down. And Lynx is under 400, but above 300, so he is through. And we're just about ready to put our GGs in chat. Lynx really through the worst of it here. Just has to get through this Mother Brain 3 and the escape. But really clean race here from Lynx, taking care of business in this first round against Hypo.
Yeah, just a very well executed, very secure run here. Hypo's cleaning up these Metroid rooms. A little bit of an issue with that last Metroid there. I will say that Metroid Room 3 and 100% is probably my most favorite room ever in this game. It's just, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, if you have got Space Jump in a category, the things that you can do in the Metroid rooms really are quite beautiful, honestly.
And it looks so, I mean, it's deceptively difficult. It looks like, oh, just do a couple things, bing, bang, boom, through the room. But, man, what a crazy set of rooms are coming down. And does Hypo go for the Stashio skip as well? I'm not sure. Although with Space Jump, what does that change?
It shouldn't change anything. It does look like it's going to be a Stashio setup here. And this is the far left setup that I was talking about. So you wait for a couple of these claw patterns. Is he going to press dash here? No. So it looks like he was doing that dashless, that first little bit. I think that's a really nice way to standardize it. Some people choose to use dash and then stutter. There's a lot of different ways, as I was alluding to. Hypo going for a setup that I actually favor myself, just because of the sort of how easy it is to standardize it. And Lynx going for that super short charge. 14 tiles. No. Stutter didn't seem quite good enough. Yeah, and it does look like this will in fact be a high 42. And with a mid 41 PB and with 4 tanks and Kraid second, this is a really nice race performance for Lynx. I think you've got to feel really good about this to get your first round matchup, where you were the favorite out of the way with not just with the win that you were looking for, but with really just excellent execution.
Yes, agreed. Meanwhile, Hypo getting into their Mother Brain 2 fight here, just getting started, as Lynx will be out and into the ship well before Hypo's done with Mother Brain here.
Folks, line up your GGs in chat for Lynx, who's going to win this race, finishing in first place with
GGs.
A time of 42:51. GGs, Lynx, really nicely run. And almost at the exact same time that rainbow beam comes out. So it looks like we are going to have just around a 46, low 46 from Hypo, which again, considering their PB, is a really, really excellent time. It was a great race.
Yeah,
both
agreed.
runners performed very well, and I think they've got to feel good starting off with such strong runs for both of them.
Just a little bit of business left here for Hypo. Grabbing this rainbow beam, and then, yeah, I mean, really, Prof, like you said, with a PB of 45.36 to end up in that, mid to high 46 range in a race setting, got to be proud.
100%, 100%. Although actually, probably more like 21% or whatever it is for KPDR.
Fair. That's fair.
If there's a dad joke to be made, Dust, I think we might be one of the better comms crews for that. Just based on my experience hanging out with you in person, it feels like we're in a safe space for dad jokes here, folks. If in chat, if you're palm to forehead right now, that's the whole point.
Yeah, I mean, we are squarely in the older guy range here. I did catch the end of Kev calling. I forget the race that it was earlier, but unfortunately was, or fortunately maybe for those who are watching and listening, he was on comp solo and was absolutely killing it. But referenced Old Guy Club a couple times. It's an old game, and those of us who played this at launch and still enjoy it now, we're not getting any younger.
That's true. That's true. I mean, and Kev, of course, famously played this game not only on launch in '94, but competed as a gymnast for Temple all the way in the 1970s. Kev now just able to collect Social Security, one of the older members of our community. We're glad that he's still around. And
elder member.
Oh, excuse me. Yes.
Elder statesman.
The eldest millennial.
I will once again just reiterate that being on comms with you here after being able to meet in person at Speedgaming Live last year, this adds a different nuance to being on comms and watching the races and whatnot. There's a personal element to it, and I got to encourage everybody, if you're on the fence about kind of joining in with the community and enjoying this stuff in person. I don't know, waking up at 9 o'clock, having a coffee, and sitting down to watch, some top tier rando races or whatever. There's really nothing like it. So, can't recommend it enough.
Yep, strongly seconded. And just as we're about to get our GGs lined up in chat for HypoSatori, who is about to finish second in this excellent race with an official time of 46:21 GG's Hypo. We are at the same time, if that noise in my ears is correct, joined by one of our runners, and it is our winner in first place with that really excellent high 42 time. Lynx, congratulations. Excellent race.
GG's, Lynx.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like you decided to take a very safe strategy here. You ran the Picard route. You took the extra tank. You took those extra super farms coming out into Meridia. And despite all of that, you were just a little outside of 1 minute from your PB. This has got to be a really good performance for you, considering all the safeties. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I felt really good about the run in general. I think weak points, just Meridia and maybe the Mother Brain 2 fights. But other than that, yeah, I'm really happy with how I played.
Excellent. Yeah, this is, we were saying, I mean, from the very beginning, you had a really nice powerbomb time and a pretty good entry into wrecked ship. A really nicely handled Ridley. I liked some of the dips and dodges you were doing there to avoid those hits in that second round mid pattern. Really excellent stuff. So overall, just a great race. Not sure if Hypo's going to join us, but I'll reiterate the same thing. Hypo played within about 45 seconds of their PB. So really nicely done really for Hypo as well. Oh yeah.
Yeah, GG's to Hypo. I don't know if he's gonna join, but yeah. I mean, good luck to him in the rest of the tourney, and yeah.
Yeah, so let's think about next round matchups. Hypo is going to drop down into that redemption bracket. Folks, this, of course, is a 32-player double elimination tournament. So Hypo's tournament will go on, and we'll play Fat Scott 25, who was bested by Emmett earlier in this week. Lynx, that means that you're matched up with another 41 runner, a really big 7-10 matchup here. You and Emmett going head-to-head in this second round. I'd love to get your thoughts on this matchup, because this sounds like it's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Emmett is, like, besides him being an excellent runner, he's a really good friend. Actually, in fact, this year I had the pleasure to meet him in person. He went here to Chile on a vacation, so I mean, it's gonna be crazy. We are both really competitive, so I expect it's gonna be an awesome race.
Yeah, I expect it will be as well. I might have to try to get on comms for that. Folks, keep your eyes peeled. With all the great matchups we have this weekend, don't forget that second round is coming up. And one of the ones that I think is really going to be the most competitive in that second round is going to be this 7-10 matchup. 241 runners. I won't ask you to divulge your race strategy yet, but I can only imagine that you might play a little bit more aggressively than you would have against Hypo. All credit to Hypo, who ran an excellent race. But you did have a pretty sizable margin in your PBs. You could afford it. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that you're going to be a little bit more regimented and maybe less risk averse in your race against Emmett.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Emmett is really used to competition, so well, I expect that he's gonna do the same. I'm gonna just go all out except for 2010. I usually go 15-10 on my attempts, but I'm just gonna go 2010, but other than that, it's gonna be like a normal attempt, a PB attempt for me.
All right. Well, I didn't ask directly for it, but we got it anyway. So you heard it here first, folks. Lynx going to be running all out, and I expect no less from Emmett. It's going to be a heck of a race. Lynx, anything else you wanted to point out before we sign off? The floor is yours. You had an excellent race today, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Prof and Das for the comms, and GG's to Hypo. Good luck to him in the rest of the journey.
Excellent. All right. Well, folks, we're going to sign off here. I've been Professor School. I'm going to pass it over, give that baton, Olympic 4x100 style, hopefully without a drop, to my co-commentator, Dust. Dust, it was a lot of fun. Thanks to chat. Thanks to our runners for an excellent performance. And thanks to you for keeping me entertained in this comms booth. I had a great time comming together. And I'll let you take us away. So everyone have a great evening, and we'll see you real soon.
Yeah, thanks, Prof. Got the baton nice and solid there. GG's, Lynx, and Hypo. Thanks for everybody for watching. Don't forget a ton of matchups coming up this weekend. And, again, I can't encourage you guys enough. Get involved. Check out the Speedgaming Live in person. It's a great experience. You can make some pretty good friends here and see what the community is all about in person. So